go.
All right. Hello and welcome. I can see everyone's coming in, which is fantastic. I might just give it just one more minute just to see if there's anyone still trying to get into which I can see there is.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Big welcome. If you've attended before, thank you for coming back. And it's lovely to connect with you if this is your first time with Positive Living Skills in our info session. Please feel free to pop into the chat a hello, where you're from, if it's just you, if you're there with a team, family daycare, long daycare, what your educational setting is. I'd love to know who we've got here. Can see some of you have your cameras on. It's lovely to see you. And you can also take yourself off mute if you do have a question. I will mention that the first 20 minutes is an introduction to Positive Living Skills, who we are, and then it's a helicopter tour of the program, which I'll go through. And then the last 25 minutes, I have some case study type common questions that we've had lots of people coming in with very similar questions, so I thought I'd focus on those. And then we'll have time for a Q&A. I've also got a really nice video that I'd love to show you. So if we're doing good for time, then I would love to show you that video we have as well. Thank you for sharing all your hello to everyone coming in. I love hearing who we've got and where you're from. Some of your names are very familiar, so it's great to see you. Okay, I think I'm just going to start. I'll get into it. I'll start with our acknowledgement to country. So at Positive Living Skills, we acknowledge the traditional custodians of country throughout Australia and their connections to land, sea and community. We pay our respect to the elders past and present and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples today. So thank you. All right, let's just quickly, just a few little bits of housekeeping before we do begin. I am recording this information session so that you'll be able to have a copy of this after. You might want to go over it to re-listen to a few things. You might want to share it with your team, and that will be sent out to you later on in the week. I contact new members via email and occasional emails from us to remind you of the amazing content that you have access to. So be sure to save any PLS emails to your safe list. And secondly, the welcome kit. If you are new to PLS, have you got your kit? And if not, don't stress. The post can take a few weeks, but after a few weeks, if you notice you still haven't received it, please definitely flick me an email, give me a call to let me know. Be sure to utilize your posters to download and print for your service as well. We'll go through that and you'll see there's an abundance of content there for you. Okay, so accessing the program, you will do that with your registered email. So your service will have registered with the specific registered email, which is site specific to only your service, and a password. If you have any troubles whatsoever, you can utilize the troubleshooting options on the page. And if you're still not having any luck, please flick me an email and I can help you out with that. And after this session, if you have any questions, you can definitely contact me via phone or email. And we also have our community forum, which I'm going to show you on our platform, which is a great place to connect and network with other educators as well. So just starting off, so obviously I'm Hailey Chant. I'm the early childhood specialist for Positive Living Skills. I have worked in the early childhood field for 15 years and I absolutely love it. And as you would all know, you've got to love it to work in early childhood, and there is a lot of stress and burnout these days. And I think really what I would like to do is acknowledge all of you for everything you do for children and families and communities. You have such an important role. And without all of you, you know, these children wouldn't be learning and developing and having the social and emotional skills that they're needed to start their early learning journey. So thank you for everyone. And I appreciate you being here tonight. We'll just go into a little quick intro. So PLS was founded in 2013 by the one and only Cath. So give us a wave, Cath. So it's based on her lived experiences with anxiety and depression, and then the driving need to support young people, the educators and their families. And that's just and such an important mission. I'm so grateful to be part of it. We have Joe, who is our co-founder. So hi, Joe. Thank you for being here tonight. Joe, as well as Cath, I'll just on the slide say most amazing bosses I've ever had, and I love what they do and what they've brought to this amazing initiative. So they've also collaborated with psychologists, teachers, performance excellence professionals to create these resource pool style programs. So we've obviously got our early childhood program, and then we've got our primary wellbeing program as well. We've also got professional development opportunities, family resources. The concepts are backed by decades of research, and the programs are evidence-based in their own right. And this is thanks to our partnership with Charles Sturt University. So a big shout out to them. We would also like to acknowledge our partnership with Affinity. This is really exciting. We've had this partnership with them for, it's almost a year now, right, guys? And we're stepping into our second year shortly, and it's been an amazing journey with them. So a big shout out to Affinity. Western New South Wales Primary Health Network, again, another incredible partnership, and we're very grateful to them for everything they've provided for Western New South Wales. I know that we've had a lot of our sign-ups for this info session tonight, a lot of you, so I'm excited that you are here. And then we have our C&K members who we have quite a large number of C&K out there, which is fantastic. And then all of our other amazing members. You are all so valued to be part of Positive Living Skills, and we love having you on here, and your feedback is essential and crucial to the development of the program. So please always share what it is you want to add or see with Positive Living Skills, because we love to work with you and provide what you need for yourself, your community, and your families. So that was just a little insight into us if you didn't know. And now I'm going to be sharing my screen, because I will be going through the program with you. So bear with me while I get that up. Now, we have so much. Can you see that there, guys? Yep, all good. Okay, so we have an abundance of content in this incredible program to show you. So I apologize. I will try and keep it slow, but I also want to keep it going so you guys can get home and have dinner or do what you need to do. So when we're on the program, as you can see, I'm on the Early Childhood Positive Living Skills page. Please be sure that you are on the Early Childhood page, because we also have a main website page. If you try and log in through the main website page, it will not get you to here. So be sure that you're on the Early Childhood page. You click in the program login, and that's where you pop in your service details. As I mentioned, forgot password or having trouble logging in, everything is here on the platform. Everything you need, you can find here. And then if you're still having any troubles, that's what I'm for. All right, so we're going to access the program. So as you can see, this is our homepage, and everything you need to know is right here in front of you. So it's got step-by-step details on what and how you can implement. The program is completely flexible. So I do get a lot of questions saying, do we have to do it a certain way? Do I have to go through all the concepts in order? You absolutely do not have to. We do have services who have started from highlights and finished with self-esteem and run through it that way. But you definitely do not need to do that. It's completely flexible, and we've done it that way intentionally because it serves 0 to 6 years, family daycares, long daycares, preschools, playgroups, with schools, community centres. So it reaches out to everyone. So it can be completely flexible for any type of service. What you can see here is you can click here to get started for your orientation. So I do recommend that this is your first go-to point. I also do recommend another question that I had. I did read through all of your questions as you registered. And one of the questions was, what's the best way to get all of your staff on board with PLS? So we have actually had a number of services who have said that they've put the PLS orientation, which is this, into their induction process with staff. So if you have an induction process to get staff on board with your service, they've popped this in. So the educators are looking at the orientation, getting to know PLS, so everyone is across it and understands what they've got here at their fingertips. So this is the orientation page. This is great to go back to as well anytime that if you're through the program and you think, oh, I want to get back to something, if you come to the orientation page, you're most likely to be easily directed to it from here as well. Just quickly wanted to show you back here, we've just got some of our most, I guess, popular areas here with our learning experiences. There's 49 learning experiences. I will show you one of those shortly, all based on the 6 core concepts. So there's 8 for every concept. We've got our media library, which has everything that you absolutely need when it comes to positive living skills. So it's got your songs, your stories, your posters, your resource downloads, your relaxation audios, everything in there. We have our family resources. We also have the professional development for educators, which I'm going to show you. Transition to school and school readiness section. And then our 0 to 3 year section, which has become extremely popular since we've had a lot of family daycares jump on board with us. We've really had this shown as being super beneficial. And then we have our community forum. So this I wanted to show because it can be a really great way for you to network with other services that are using the PLS program. We utilize it to put any updates that we may have about the program. If there's things that we want to share with you, it all comes on here. And you can also post a new update as well, and we can answer your questions, or you can have other educators answer your questions as well. So it's really cool to be able to access this and utilize this for your service and other services. Sorry. Then we just do have our previous info sessions here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to head across the blue tab here. You can go down through your orientation page, which is a really great way to get to know everything that's in here. And then again, we've got coming across the tabs, which shows you the program as well. So we've got a bit about here about who we are, the situation, and what our goal for positive living skills. You can familiarize yourself with the 6 core concepts. So we have highlights, feelings, focus, relaxation, cooperation, and self-esteem. And as I mentioned, we've broken these down into 8 learning experiences. So that's a total of 48 plus our introduction learning experience. So that's a really great little one to get to know positive living skills for when you're just starting out. So these are your 6 core concepts. You can go into these if you're wanting to learn more about them. It tells you all about them. But for now, I'll leave that one up to you. Then we've got familiarizing yourself with Possible. This little man is, well, I should say possum, is key to the success of positive living skills. From birth to 6 years, the kids love Possible. He is soft and he's fluffy and he's cuddly and he's really engaging, aren't you? Yeah. And he loves to give hugs or high fives. And the best way to use Possible, I'll give you a tip, is I like to have him whisper in my ear because the kids are like, what is he saying? So you get used to Possible and get used to using him because his mottos is everything that PLS is about, so having a healthy growth mindset, eating healthy foods, working hard and never giving up, trying our best and persistence. And then you can see you meet Possible. It gives you everything in here. So what does he teach? Then there's more about him. There's even a little script on how you can introduce Possible to your group, how working with the Possible puppet, because he is a little bit stiff when he first arrives, so you've got to loosen him up a bit. And then obviously he needs a special place. So it's very important for him to have a place of belonging in your service, just like all your children. So he can watch, cheer them on, tell them they're given their Possible best. And then, yeah, he joins in how you choose to have him join in. I had one educator say to me, what do I do? The kids are saying, why doesn't he have any legs? I said, well, you just got to say he's a puppet. But then I thought, no, you know what? Every service is different. So whatever your philosophy is and how you want to include him, that's what you do. That's how you teach. If he has a voice, let him have a voice. If he likes to whisper to engage the children, then yeah, absolutely do it that way. There's so many different ways that you can do that. And then we've got extra Possible puppets in our store and posters, etc. So that is our Possible. Then we will go down to unpacking your welcome pack. So as I mentioned, once that arrives, you can unpack that and you'll have your Possible puppet, your highlight clickers, which I'll talk about in a second, and you'll have your posters. So you have your poster here, which is for your families. So they can scan the QR code, which gains them access to the family link. I might actually, no, I'll come back. I'll get distracted. I get really easily distracted. Then you've got your services delivering positive living skills poster. And then my actual personal favorite is this poster we've got here. So we've got the core concepts, the changing channels concept, and possible, all connected to our keyword sign. So then that brings me to your flashcards that you will get as well. Sorry, that might be a bit small because I think I'm a bit small to you guys at the moment. But the flashcards have the core concepts with the keyword sign for that concept on the back. That's really great for utilising with the children. As I said, we've got our Possible and our Changing Channels one, which I will show you in a bit too. So the flashcards have to be super popular. People are loving that we are partnering with keyword sign. We do have more coming in regards to keyword sign. So keep an eye on the platform for those updates as well. As I mentioned, our happy highlight clickers, I always get asked questions about these, so I definitely want to explain this to you. This is such an easy way to get positive living skills in your service and the most easy way to bring joy, positive energy, positive mindsets to the children. So it's just a clicker, and what it does is you can click the highlight clicker to talk about any experience that has brought joy or happiness into your life. And we all know that there are so many days where we think nothing good has come from the day, or, you know, kids can get quite in a spiral where they're like, I've been the worst day because they had a bad moment. So this is where the highlight clicker is really handy. And we can say, look, well, I got a really nice hug from my educator today. So that was a highlight. Or I helped a friend when they were feeling sad, and that's a highlight. Or when I was outside, I saw a really cool eagle in the sky. It can be absolutely anything. And a child may tell you the most wild and outrageous thing that's their highlight, but that's what we love. That's their highlight, and that's for them to keep in their little highlight bank. So we love utilizing these highlight clickers. I just went through those flashcards with you. Okay, we've got the media library, which I'm going to do. And as I mentioned, it's got our little explanations here on the different areas that you have in the program. So that's why I love the orientation page, because you can get a quick overview of what you've got, get an idea of what's there. And then normally from that, you'll go, oh, yep, I reckon that's what's going to help me with this group of children. Or for my family daycare, I know that Possible is going to help me. I'm going to go straight to Possible. So that's where you can see that there doesn't have to be a linear delivery. It can be completely flexible. All right. I would like to take you up here. We've got our educator resources, which come in handy. So as I mentioned, we've got professional development for our educators. Now, this is something that you just sign up with individually. So you create your very own personal PD account. We have 3. So we have self-care and stress management, building effective leadership skills, and enhancing positive focus. They're all 90-minute sessions. You'll receive a workbook, which you can fill out as you watch the video. And yeah, services are jumping on and doing these PDs and finding them very helpful. So definitely jump onto that. And let's go into... I might actually go into the learning experiences. So I'm going to show you guys the learning experiences. So as I mentioned, 49 learning experiences. We have our introduction learning experiences, which introduces you to PLS, what it is, Possible. So it's always a good one to start with. What I might just do is I might just pop up here, and as you can see, you can toggle this. So if you want a bigger definition on what's in each lesson, you can do that. Otherwise, when you become a bit more familiar, you can just do this so you can find a lesson that you're wanting to do. So say we're wanting to work on focus with the children, and we're wanting them to focus in positive ways because we've noticed some negative emotions. Click on that one and it takes you straight to the learning experience. So they're all slide-like presentations, and you can use a computer, you can use tablet, iPad. Best way to do it is via a computer or a smart board, or even some services have linked to TVs. So if you did want to know more about that, up here under the orientation, there's PLS platform tips. It just gives you suggestions on how you can cast or connect HDMIs and things like that. But for now, we're going to have a look at it here. And what it does is it just gives educators a really simple, easy script to follow to explain to children and teach them about positive focus. And you can see there's educator notes. So if you flick through, it's going to take you through this, then start the learning experiences. If you do not want to look at the educator notes, you can go straight to the start of the learning experience. So sometimes educators have prep time, so they might read through this before they do a lesson. And as you can see, tells you the things that you might need for the lesson. And then it gives you some learning goals, aims and outcomes. So just objectives, success criteria. This is really helpful for educators wanting to do programming and planning and using the documentation cycle. So this is where this really comes in handy. It's kind of helping you do some of that work for you, because we do understand the stress that you guys are under. And then it explains the changing channel concept. And every lesson is linked to the early years learning framework. And we have updated that to version 2 of the early years learning framework as well. So that's done for you as well. So if you ever need to document it, it's there from the lesson. And then we're at the start of the learning experience. So as you can see, very simple, easy to read, really colourful for the children to look at while you're explaining to them what you're teaching them. And then it just runs through and tells you about changing channels and how our minds are like a remote control, and we can change the channel when we feel ready to. And what's really cool about this concept is it's all about validation, because we really know how important it is for a child to feel validated for the emotions they're feeling, and that every emotion is okay to feel. So this is where I love this lesson, and children really connect with it as well. Possible is in obviously a lot of our learning learning experiences, and that's where he can be really good to bring in, and you can talk to him as you're reading this and engage Possible in this play as well. And yeah, so we're going through, it's just telling you easy, simple little things to have the discussion with children. As I said, you can follow this or you can skip through it and move to the next part. We have reflections at the end of every learning experience. And then we have, with this one, it's got an optional changing channels remote control activity. And this is so popular. We did this when we went out to Western New South Wales, and the kids went crazy for this. My kids have done it at home, and they walk around with the remote control saying, I will change my channel when I'm ready. I'm just feeling really frustrated right now. So it gives them the voice to be able to articulate how they're feeling, those different emotions, and being able to have those conversations with them. So it's very exciting. And then the where to from here. So yes, that is one of our learning experiences. As I mentioned, you've got each of the core concepts here. So, and they're very self-explanatory. So as you can see, cooperation is obviously going to give you everything about sharing, turn taking, followership, leadership, all those things. So everything's there.
Maybe, hey, I was just thinking, maybe now you're on that learning experience, if you just show a learning story just quickly, the learning,
learning story.
Yeah.
So yeah.
On that too.
Yeah, definitely. So as Cath mentioned, that when you've got those learning experiences, if you do one with the children, whether you break it up, make it your own, or if you use it as a full learning experience, we have included learning stories for every single learning experience. So you can see you've got the introductory one, each of the 6 core concepts with their 8 lessons. So I'll go into focus. And then as you can see here, it's like a fillable document. But the great thing about it is all you need to do is enter the child's name, educator, the date, click which learning experience you did. So we did focus in positive ways, and it pre-populates for you. And what's even better is you can edit it to however you like. You can delete things, add things. But the best thing is the wording, the language is all there for you. So you don't have to try and explain it or think about how to explain it. It's all there. And this is what a finished one. I filled all of this in earlier. You have an area to put your service logo, because that was a feedback from a few of our services. So we added that in. And then we've got space for 3 photos. And then what you will always also see is that it can be downloaded as a PDF, which can be printed off, or it can be uploaded to a platform, say if you were to use Story Park or something like that. So yes, that is a really cool feature. We wanted to do that to provide you guys with, to help you with your time management and be able to, you know, support you with that. So yeah, that's our learning, learning stories. Then we have our activities guide. I love this because if you're new to positive living skills, or if you've been using positive living skills for a long time, or if you have educators that don't feel very confident with implementing activities and social and emotional learning, this activity guide has proved to be so helpful to educators no matter what situation you're in. What it does is that it's a quick reference to assist you guys to gain more value from positive living skills. So it helps you locate learning experiences, activities, resources, and ideas within the whole program. It's been broken down into 5 goals. So you can click on these here. So if you're wanting to encourage positive energy and build a positive focus, you would click on that. And it brings up every lesson, every activity that would help you achieve that outcome. And then you can also download it as a PDF, which I have done here. So you can print it off and hang it up inside. So if you're outside and you're going, these children are crazy today, I need some relaxation in this room, you can quickly open this up and go, right, what can I do? Okay, there's that Be Here activity. I like that. I'll open that up and play that. And I can have some downtime. So as you can see, quick, easy to go to guide. So that is our activities guide. There's family resources. There's more about the keyword sign. All of our references, our early years learning framework guide. We have a national quality framework guide, which is fantastic for assessment and rating to help you with quality improvement plan. So you can look at that and see where you're meeting, where you might want to be working on, and it helps you with that process. We also have the Victorian early years framework as well. So they are all here for you guys to have a look at. Anything you think I missed there, guys? Because I think that's an important area to share with everyone. All good?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, we have the Storytime Library. This has been really popular again with family daycare and our services that have 0 to 3. But actually, in saying that, one of the case studies is with one of the older classes who did this as well. You can see if you open up one of the stories, it's a really easy to read story that you can do with the children. And again, it's all there for you. So Tiana shows empathy. So it goes through the story with you with simple to see pictures.
Just letting you know, Hales, we're nearly at 7 o'clock.
Guys, I told you there's a bunch of content in here. I'll keep it quick. And then at the end, what you can see is there's some questions to follow up with. So where you can talk about the story with the children. So these stories are fantastic. We have an animated Possible one. So check them out. Tell us what you think. We're in the process of actually looking to create some more as well. So let us know what you'd like to see, because we definitely want to be able to do that. We have our transition. So our school readiness activities based off the Positive Living Skills program. We give you some tips and suggestions and ideas here. Tips for transitions to other rooms, or you might have someone transitioning from another service or family daycare or transitioning to school. So these are really helpful here. The 0 to 3 section. This is, again, really great because it gives you simplified activities to do with the children based on positive living skills. I think it's really important to be able to do that. And an easy way to do it with the younger children. So you can have a look through those. I mentioned we have the media library, so that's there for you. It has all the songs, videos, resource downloads, animations. Possible animations are super popular. Everything you need is in there. And then we have our family link. So as I mentioned, that's up the top here, so that your parents can scan the QR code, and then you have they log in with individual email addresses to get that. So you just sign up to the family link. All of your educators can do this as well. Use it at home with your kids, grandkids, nieces, nephews. You all have access to it. So once you're logged into that, there's a whole possible section. Then we've broken it down 0 to 5, 6 to 12, and 13 years plus. tips for at home with positive living skills, which is great for the parents. And that's in there. So we really encourage you to engage your families with the program. That way you've got the connection from school to home. And I think that has pushed me through most of what I wanted to show you. Please pop any questions in that you might have. What I did want to share with you now was just a few little case study questions that I did have, which kept coming up. So I thought it'd be really great to answer them. So the first one that we had a lot of questions about was, how do we use or introduce the younger children to positive living skills? So sometimes we do often get educators saying, how this wouldn't be for the younger kids, it's for the 3 to 5s. And we're like, no, it's definitely for the earlier you start, the better. So there's so many benefits to introducing PLS to children as early as possible. So it's like when you're teaching children to manners, words to communicate, how to draw, how to recognize their name. You're doing colors and numbers with them. You can be doing exactly the same with positive living skills concept and the language. So the most important thing is using the language with them. This is to help them establish a positive mindset right from the very beginning. And it's like teaching them the essential life skills such as kindness, empathy, confidence, self-esteem, feelings and emotions, and relaxation. So you would just do it in a very simplified way so they start to hear the language. What I have found is that we had a family daycare, which is a really great example. They were using the feelings concept. So they were using it with the younger children. So they had activities which assisted the children to develop like a greater understanding of emotions and how to express and verbalize their emotions. So they were using the feelings poster, which then they were cutting up into flashcards, a bingo game. They had a memory card game. And what they were doing then was they were sitting with the children and talking about the emotions on that. And the children were then starting to understand what different emotions connected to when they were in play situations. A big one for me was when the educator told me that a child had asked to show how they felt when they were feeling a high emotion, and the child pointed on the feelings chart. So this child was obviously experiencing something that was just high level, and they were like, I don't know what's wrong. The child couldn't explain to them what they were feeling. So she said, come and show me. What are you feeling? Point to the face. And so the child went over to the feelings poster, pointed, and the educator said, oh, you look angry. You're pointing to angry. Are you feeling angry? And the child felt validated, and the child was like, yes. And it gave the educator the space to be like, okay, all right, this child's feeling angry, to work on this emotion, to talk more about that. And the educator felt really empowered because they were able to validate that emotion for the child, and then was able to say, yeah, it's okay to feel like this. I get angry too, and so on. So that was really powerful, coming from a family daycare provider utilizing the program with the younger age children. I would also say that when introducing the younger children, Possible is key. Now, I know I've spoken about him a little bit, but he really is key when it comes to implementing the program. He's like that support worker in the room. We've had some of our C&K services say that that's what he does. So he's their support worker. So you build a trusting relationship with him. Children will often go up to him and say, I want to talk to Possible about something. They will confide in him. And it's really special if you can do that. They like to know that they can try new things like Possible, eating healthy foods. We've had some of our affinity services have Possible as a chef. He comes and joins them for meal times, and Possible gets so excited when they eat their veggies because that's his favorite. So there's so many ways that Possible can be utilized, and I would actually love to go way more in depth with him. Maybe that could be another info session that we do. So yeah, for me, using or introducing it to the younger children, these are the steps that I would take. And as I showed you, there's the 0 to 3 section, which gives you a bunch of ideas on how to do this. Pop in any questions into the chat if you do feel like there's anything you would like me to elaborate on that one. The second one that we do get a lot of questions about is, how can educators use positive living skills to build their confidence when teaching social and emotional learning? So I've had a few times educators, and I know myself as an educator, when I was first starting out, I was always so worried about saying the wrong thing, or how would I explain that to a child, or how do I diffuse this situation without, saying the wrong thing. It's a big thing in childcare and really in the world today. So my suggestions for this are to utilize the learning experiences. By using the learning experiences, you're reading the language that we have put there for you. And then that's helping you as an educator have the confidence with the pre-scripted wording that we've provided for you. So the more you do that, the more you explain to the children the PLS language, that's how you can build up your language confidence when it comes to SEL learning. The Storytime Library. So this is where our little case study happened, where we had a service utilize the Storytime Library, and they were reading Tiana Shows Empathy. They noticed a fair bit of not nice behavior occurring with friendships. So what they decided to do was they decided to read this book, and they read it a few times. They did the reflection questions at the end to get the children engaged. And they shared with us that one child had felt very proud of themselves because during a play situation, they'd come up to an educator and said, I saw Emma was sad and she said she had no one to play with, so I asked her to play with us. So the educator was like, fantastic, that's really great that you were able to do that. It was a great way to show empathy. It was kind of like Tiana from the story. And the child was like, yeah, I know. Another child spoke about how a friend was really tired and fell asleep at group time. And all the other children started laughing. And she said, I didn't laugh. I didn't think it was nice to laugh at him. He looked embarrassed. So they'd been working on the feelings concept. They'd read Tiana Shows Empathy. And so it was really nice to know that that child was able to show empathy towards another child, recognize from their physiology that they were not okay and they didn't think it was okay to laugh at them. So this obviously then provided a really big learning, I guess, program learning environment for them where they were able to engage and continue with that. And then just lastly for that, how you can build your confidence, I really, really encourage you to use the educator resources. Have a look at the PDs, go in and read more about the research with PLS. This is going to give you all the information that you need. Cath and Joe also have videos where they explain the concepts and the benefits. And I can also say that with the educator resources, I've had educators tell me that they've used them as part of their uni or TAFE work to help them when they're doing assignments or essays and things like that as well. Cath and Joe, do you think I'll have time for the video, or should we just, what do you reckon?
What do you think, Joe? How are we going for time? 7:08.
We'll take about 7.
Yeah.
Up to you.
I'll do this. It's only a minute, guys.
Yeah, it's only a minute.
From Chelsea and Cindy Turner from Central West Family Daycare. They shared this with us, and it was really great to get this feedback.
Hey everyone, I'm Cindy Turner. And I'm Chelsea Turner, and we're the mum-daughter duo who have our own separate family daycare services in Forbes, New South Wales.
You just need to share it on your screen. Yeah.
Sorry. A little about positive living skills in a family daycare environment. I've been asked to do a little talk about how we utilise the positive living programs in my service. I currently have 1 to 3 year olds, and holding focus for busy children can sometimes be a challenge, as you all know. When introducing Possible, being a puppet, this is fun and enjoyable, and they tend to hold longer spans of concentration, and Possible helps them settle, so it makes relaxation and wind down time much easier. I use the program to promote concepts such as feelings and emotions, sharing, kindness, and cooperation amongst their friends. Reading the online stories and listening to the songs with the PLS program is great for the children's learning and communication skills. Having Possible as a strong role model helps to promote positive behaviours in my service, and I look forward to adapting them more as the children grow with the concepts such as highlights, self-esteem, and changing tenor.
I love that tree. I think it's great.
No, I like him there. He's cute.
Yeah.
When incorporating the Positive Living Skills program in my service, as well as Possible, we use the Happy Highlight clickers. When the children initiate positive behaviours in our routine or to each other, each child will head over to their designated clicker colour and receive a click. If they receive 5 clicks throughout the day, they have an option to receive an extrinsic reward from our reward box. We also have a happy highlight clicker for our classroom. The highlight clickers help the children recognise positive behaviours and are also positively reinforced by their actions. The happy highlight clickers so far have promoted the children's initiatives in routines like tidying up after themselves and helping others in routine. It's also promoted behaviours like sharing, empathy, and communication and kindness.
I love that. And Chelsea and Cindy had said they wanted to share something with us, and they said, we're not great on camera. And I was like, that was amazing. So I love that they shared that with us. We love feedback from our services. So a huge shout out to Cindy and Chelsea for doing that and sharing that with us. It was brilliant. Okay, so that brings us to the end, and we now have a little bit of time left, as I sped through that for you, for Q&A. So does anyone have any questions that they wanted to ask? Was there something in the program that didn't quite stand out, or do you find that it was quite self-explanatory? You feel comfortable jumping on and having a go? Pop your questions in or take yourself off mute if you'd like to. I think the biggest thing with this program is jump in and give it a go. So jump into a learning experience and give it a go with the children. The biggest thing is we're learning just as much as they are, and it's okay if we make a mistake, but really there's no mistakes with PLS, however you choose to deliver it. Go in and do a relaxation audio. These are fantastic for the children. They love doing these at rest time. It's great for the babies, for quiet time. So there's all of that as well. Sorry, I haven't scrolled down. Was there a question there? Nothing. Is there anything?
I think we've answered some of the questions, Hales, or we've done our between Cath and I. So there was just it's just clarifying between a learning story versus a story time story. So the learning stories are for every one of the learning experiences. They're the ones that Hales showed you. You can upload your photos to and your logo to. They can be downloaded as PDFs, edited, shared with families via emails and other means. The story times, the one with the flip books with Tiana Shows Empathy and those ones, they're not downloadable as such. They're just viewing via the platform and sharing, but with the, extension and question and reflection ideas on them. So just to clarify those. So I think maybe a couple of people got mixed up between them.
The learning story. Yep. So the learning story is that one. So that's where you can document what happened when you did an experience with the children, and it's pre-populated and comes up for you. So that's that one.
And they're the ones that can be uploaded into your other platforms that you might be using in the service and etc.
Yep. So we did have another question. This was a really interesting question, actually. So we had a question on how to support behaviours such as those from children with ODD, PDA, where the strategies to help them aren't consistent. So when I looked at this question, I was like, it's a very interesting question. So dealing with specific disorders such as ODD or PDA, or ADHD is not something we advise on. But what we do know is that experts like Beth McGregor is a psychologist who trains health and welfare workers in infant mental health, child development and child protection. She has endorsed the Positive Living Skills program. We have a video where she talks about self-regulation, impulse control and trauma. And that's where she said she's seen benefits of the Positive Living Skills program, working with services to collaborate to give you resources and tools for children with those additional needs. In saying that, we have had services in Western New South Wales who have worked alongside inclusion support with the Positive Living Skills program to assist those children with additional needs and those for extra emotional support. So we do encourage you to reach out to any, inclusion support that you have available. And definitely we do know that in Western New South Wales, we've had quite a number of the inclusion support there saying that they want to be utilising the Positive Living Skills program to work alongside with that. So that was a really interesting question, and hopefully that will help you. And then there was just There was a question about how to help educators to implement the program. I think we went through that with the orientation page. You can utilize, there's tutorial videos. There's the information and demonstration sessions that I'm doing now. As I mentioned, these are recorded. You can share them with your team. And like I said, just by starting, pick a concept, pick an activity, think about a group of children that I'm sure some of you have already gone, I know that's going to help these kids. Just jump into it, give it a go, see how you go with it. I think. How can educators go back and watch this Zoom, as there were a fair few who were unable to attend? Yes. So Michelle, what I'll be doing is once this is all finished, by the end of the week, you'll receive an email from me, which will have this recording. And I'm actually going to pop in these extra questions as well. So there were some extra questions that educators asked when you registered. Hopefully I answered most of them for you in this info session, but I did document down some ones where I thought they might have needed a bit of extra explanation for you guys. So I will also pop those into the email as well. So just let me know. Sorry,
Hailey, is it uploaded onto the forum as well, the latest this session? Yeah, so that'll be on the forum as well.
Every latest forum will go onto the
when Evie gets back, she'll be able to load that on for us.
In the next weeks or
in the week
or so.
Yeah,
next week, I think.
Yep. Excellent. Okay, well, I think that was it. As I said, I'll pop up those extra questions in the email with the recording. But if there are any other questions that you think of tonight, tomorrow, in the coming days, as you're starting to get used to the program, pop onto the community forum, pop your questions in there, flick me an email, anything like that. I'm happy to help and be of assistance to you guys. So thank you very much. I know your time is so valuable. We appreciate spending the last 45 minutes with us.
We've still got a few on, I think. It's okay. Sorry.
yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great night, and thank you for joining
And
us.
send your questions through to Hailey, because she can address them either directly with you or in the next session. So and we want all your contributions are greatly welcomed. Yeah,
all feedback is valuable at PLS. No matter what.
All right. Have a good night, everyone.
Thanks all. Bye.